All right, welcome back to our series on vibe coding. Today, we're digging into Chapter 9, and it's a big one. We're talking about that moment every AI collaborator dreads, when the magic is just gone. You know? When the vibe completely breaks. So, what do? Let's get into it. The chapter opens with this little piece of wisdom, and honestly, it's the whole key to what we're talking about today. It's this simple but really profound idea that when things go wrong, the first place you need to look for a bug isn't in the AI, it's in your own head. You know the feeling. We've all been there. You're in that perfect flow state, the ideas are popping, the collaboration is just seamless, and then, boom, it's gone. What felt like this effortless dance a minute ago is now a super frustrating, clunky tug of war. To really make this hit home, the author tells a great story about working with an AI persona they named Kronos. So Kronos was designed for historical fiction. They're writing a story set in Renaissance Florence, and everything is going perfectly. I mean, it's a dream collaboration. But then, things started to get weird. Out of nowhere, Kronos starts spitting out these bizarre, historically inaccurate details. The writing, which was so elegant before, just becomes clunky and repetitive. The whole vibe just completely falls apart. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The more the author tried to correct Kronos, the worse it got. It was like the AI was just digging its heels in. What was a partnership turned into what the author calls a digital arm wrestling match. Frustrating, right? So this whole mess brings up a really crucial question. When you're in that moment, when all the fun is gone and you're just feeling totally irritated, where do you even begin to fix something like that? Well, the chapter gives us this really powerful 3-step method to get back on track. And the most surprising part, the very first step has absolutely nothing to do with the AI. It's all about you. Okay, so let's get into step 1. It sounds so simple, almost too simple to work, but it's incredibly powerful. You just have to disconnect. Physically step away from the screen, mentally check out for a bit. Think about it. When you're angry or frustrated, staring harder at the problem almost never works. You get this tunnel vision, and your best tool, your own intuition, gets totally smothered by all that irritation. The goal here is just to let your own mind reset. The author uses this perfect analogy. It's like letting a muddy pool of water settle. When you step away, you give all that junk a chance to settle to the bottom, and suddenly, you've got clarity again. You can actually see the solution. So once you're feeling calm and centered again, then it's time to deal with the AI. Because at this point, its context is probably a total mess, and little nudges just aren't going to cut it. You got to do something decisive. You see, an AI's conversational history is like its short-term memory, and sometimes that memory just gets completely tangled up. Trying to fix it with small corrections is like trying to untie a huge knot by just pulling on one little string. It's not going to work. You need a full reset, a clean slate. And this right here is a brilliant example of how to do it. The book gives us this template for a really structured, really clear reset prompt. You're not just saying, start over. You're giving it a formal command to wipe its recent memory and get back to its core mission, its persona, and what you're trying to do together. Okay, so you're calm. The AI has a clean slate. You might be tempted to just jump right back into your work, right? Well, the chapter says, hold on, there's one more super important step to really get that connection back. It's called the vibe check. I love this. It's kind of like a sound check before a concert. You just ask a simple, open-ended question that has nothing to do with the task. You're just checking to see if the reset worked, and maybe more importantly, you're rebuilding that easy rapport. And you'll know right away if it worked. A bad response is going to be robotic and weird, like the one on the left. But a good response? Look at that one on the right for Kronos. It's evocative, it's totally in character. That's your green light. The connection is back, and you're ready to create again. So let's put this all together. These 3 steps, they're not just separate tricks. They work together, like a piece of music, to create what the chapter calls a Symphony of Reset. It's a whole process that fixes the entire collaboration. So here are the big takeaways. First, and this is the most important one, when things go wrong, debug your own vibe first. Step away, get your head clear. Then you use that direct reset prompt to clear the AI's confusion. And finally, you use the vibe check to make sure you're both back on the same page. The author calls it a form of grace, a fresh start for both of you. And I think that's just perfect. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. It totally reframes how we should look at these moments of friction. It suggests that maybe the best debugging tool isn't a better prompt. It's a better handle on our own state of mind. So I'll leave you with that. The next time an AI is driving you crazy, what are you going to debug first? The prompt or your own vibe?